This stunt is performed by a professional driver on a home course. We call this the Rooftop flip drop. Yes! Nailed it!
What's up, guys? It's Liam here with 2FMRC. I'm the owner of this channel now.
He's taking over. All right, so we were out at Beat the Creek and ran into Eddie from Buddy RC, and he hooked us up with this new WovRacing Blitzkrieg. Is that what it is?
Blitzkrieg, I think.
Blitzkrieg. It's like the Blitzkrieg Bop. Have you ever heard that song?
No.
Yeah, I know a lot of you have. Anyways, so this thing, I'm really excited to go run this. We kind of cheated a little bit and ran it a little bit just on the concrete.
And it's really fast.
Yeah, I wouldn't let Liam take it out in the mud yet because we wanted to keep it pretty to show you guys. But we ran this at Beat the Creek, and Eddie went over it. A lot of things on it for us. If you watched our Beat the Creek video, I did put that clip of him explaining some of the things about this truck in there. But man, this red, I gotta say, so they've got a couple different colors. As you can see on the box there, they have a different color, and then they had a buggy.
Yeah.
And then when I seen the red, I was like, oh, I hope we got the red. And so we got the red. This thing is pretty cool for the price, in my opinion. What do you think?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you like about it?
I don't know.
You like that it's new?
I like the body mounting thing, because it's easier than bobby pins, because bobby pins, if they like poke your fingers.
Yeah, and they fly out a lot. Yeah. So
and they get easily lost.
So this is a pretty cool system. Like he's saying here, the body just kind of pops on here. You've got these extra little retaining rings that go down on there. Sometimes it's a little tough, but it's still better than clips, in my opinion. So one thing I would probably do, that I like to do to these bodies, is what? You remember?
Drywall tape and Flex Seal.
Or shoe goo and
shoe
Flex
goo.
Seal, whatever. We use Flex Seal sometimes, but drywall tape and shoe goo really helps these bodies last a lot longer on bashers.
Oh, you should see this one, like slash body. Oh, it's torn to pieces, but it's still hanging in there.
Yeah, it's like 10 years old at least.
Yeah.
The body's old. All right, so this has got a 2200 kV motor with a 120 amp ESC that is 4S capable. You can run 2S, 3S, all the way up to 4S, which is what we've put in here. It's got EC5 or IC5 connectors on it. We were able to fit a pretty standard size 6500 my 4S pack in here. Right now this is on sale. It's like $329 or $339, and it comes with a free 4S battery. That's like a $100 Gens Ace battery, so that's crazy. We're actually thinking about ordering the buggy. If this holds up well, we're gonna beat the daylights out of it and see if we are as impressed after really going hard on it as we are right away. I'm probably gonna order the buggy.
Mm-hmm.
So very impressed with this thing right off the bat. Like I said, we got to drive it at Beat the Creek. We ripped it a little bit out here on the concrete, but you can see.
We didn't get to drive this one at Beat the Creek. We got to drive the one the dude had.
Yeah. So we ran the sort of demo model.
I can't.
So this is called a 9th scale. We do got 17 millimeter splined hexes on here. So you can put pretty much any 17 millimeter wheel and tire on here as long as it kind of fits the body or the truck. These seem to be pretty good. And one thing about this thing, the stance of it, it's so wide that when we were ripping it around, like it almost never rolls over. It just kind of slides.
Yeah.
So I was really impressed with that. It is all plastic. I like that because you guys know aluminum stuff, it looks good, it's shiny, but it bends and it doesn't come back. The plastic will flex and give and then go right back. So we're all plastic chassis, plastic A-arms, everything in here is plastic, and it's got a good, like, thick plastic, good feel to it. So I don't think we're gonna have any issue with that. This chassis brace running down the center he said is a solid rod. It's not like a hollow piece of rod there, so that's going to keep us from flexing too much on the chassis. Overall, I mean, it looks like a really solid build. It's all hex head screws, so no Phillips head screws to deal with. What do you see?
Oh, no,
Those are, I'm not exactly sure. Let's check and see if that's just like a ball stud underneath there or what. It's got these little caps on top of the A-arms here. I imagine that's like a pivot ball in there. Yeah, it is. I can see it. It's got a little pivot ball in there, sort of like the Arma stuff runs, if you're familiar with that. But I'm going to pull one of those off and just have a look at those real quick. It's all bearings, all metal gears, front and rear diffs, so you can change out the grease or oil, I guess, and thicken it up. The thing is a Wheelie monster, and it's just going to be a lot of fun. So I'm going to take a quick look at this stuff, and then we'll just go bash it.
Okay, so it comes with this WovRacing kind of weird looking controller. It's like different. It's plastic. It's got this nice grip to it. I will say that. It's leather, I think. Yeah, leather.
I'd say it's like a rubber or something. It's actually got a really good feel. Looking at it, I was like, this thing looks kind of cheap, which, I mean, for the price of this truck, they have to cut some
yeah, they had like a
somewhere.
$900 truck.
It doesn't at least have a big massive antenna hanging out of it. It's got a foam wheel on it. So honestly, I could use this. I mean, we will probably swap it out to one of our transmitters, but it's really not that bad. It looks much worse than it feels, I guess. You know, I mean,
yeah.
It's just, I think a lot of it's just kind of the squareness of it if it was like rounded up a little bit, but
looks kind of like a battery.
So you do have a throttle limit. That's pretty cool. I didn't know it had that. So you can run at 50, 75, or 100%
Oh,
power.
I'm going 100.
So we'll put you on 50% and I'll run 100.
No.
No. So yeah, we've got ball studs inside of here. Only thing I see here is that is like a plastic ball stud in there, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't know how those are going to hold up, if they're going to wear out over time, being plastic.
Well, that's over time, so.
Yeah, or over a few jumps. We'll find out. So a couple things you can notice is how beefy the axles are here. I do like that. They are plastic, but they have metal pins to them. Hopefully you can see that. We've got this metal drive shaft going down the center. It's probably aluminum, that's what it feels like, but that's better than plastic. Like I mentioned earlier, this rod is solid. Lots of really good stuff going on. When I got out here, the body popped off very easily, so maybe it's something that as time goes on, it gets easier as these work in, but you can see as you push that in, those kind of retract, and it makes getting the body off and on very easy. We were able to fit this 4S pack in here. I'll link this pack in the description. It fit very well. I like how there's a hollow section sort of underneath this. I was able to tuck the balance lead up under there so it's not out flopping around. So man, I really like a lot of things about this. The other thing I noticed here is we have a nut on the backside of this screw. A lot of times those are just a screw into the A-arm, and over time that thread wears out, but this actually has a nut on it here. So hopefully we are as impressed with this thing after running it as I am just looking at it. So Liam is just ready to go with it. Hey, try those. Once you get this on, try them again, because for me, it was much easier this time. Just gotta kind of really push them. And then these pop on as well. But if you grab sort of underneath here and push it and pop up at the same time, that's doing it one-handed, obviously, if I wasn't holding the camera. So getting much easier. I actually really like that system. How fast can we get it on? Yeah, so I think it's going to work well. And these just give you a little more body, a little more area on the body to hold versus just these little tabs. So if you were just relying on those little tabs, it's probably going to pop the body off quite a bit. But having those rings there, I think it's going to work well.
So I just love the mean looking stance of this truck. The tires are very meaty looking and they did very, very well. And just the color scheme works really well. The green and gray mixed in with the red and black. I absolutely love this body. And this body did not pop off one time in all of our bashing.
So you may hear that rubbing. That is the tires rubbing on the body a little bit. The demo model we ran at Beat the Creek did the same thing, but we can always trim that body a little bit if that gets on our nerves. This is very thick grass out here, and it has no problem ripping through that. Haha, pretty cool. Steering is really good and responsive. The servo seems to be really good. This is a this is a professional driver on a non-closed course. I think he likes the wheelie power. Careful, there's cars here. Scare me to death. Jeez, that thing is powerful. I mean, it runs like it's running on 6S or something, honestly.
I'm gonna see how long I can wheelie it.
Not very long. Hey Liam, you know what we call that?
What?
The walk of shame. If you want to find out how tough an RC is, just hand it to a kid. And Liam's 13. He's been driving these things for years, but he still likes to go wide open. Let's see what he can do right here. Backflip, yeah!
That was cool.
That was cool, he said.
Like, it backflipped and then landed so perfectly.
Yeah.
You know what I did?
Let's see it again, hot shot. Yeah.
So on the box, it says water resistant, which I had to explain to Liam meant that like you couldn't submerge it or really soak it a lot. It was kind of like splash proof or light splash proof. And I told him to run it in this water, and it was actually quite a bit deeper than I thought. And a couple of times it really kind of almost got completely submerged, and we had a little issue with it. Like it would just not shut off with the power switch. It would just stop. The throttle wouldn't do anything. It would still steer like it had a dead battery almost, and you couldn't turn it off using the power switch. But if you disconnect the battery, plug it back in, it was good to go. It did that twice and had to reset it, but it's ran perfectly fine ever since. I just wouldn't suggest doing this with yours.
So I turned this upside down and we dumped a lot of water out of here. But it won't turn off right now. So we know the ramp is legit. What about the truck?
We shall see.
We shall see.
We shall figure that out today.
So we've killed a lot of trucks on this. Basically, everything breaks on this at some point. It's kind of where we go towards the end of a review to see if it's going to hold up. If we get past this, we'll take it to the skate park another day when we have more time. So if it survives, Liam, a few jumps on this, eventually we'll take this thing to the skate park. But if it survives this, it's really doing well because pretty much everything breaks on this jump. We're jumping to flat ground out of here. There is no landing. That's pretty much the worst thing you can do for any RC. So we're gonna find out. Now look, it's gonna wheelie like crazy, so don't just punch it. Take it easy so you can hit it.
Up like medium speed and
He's gonna drive it up medium speed and then he's gonna try to flip it. There you go. Full send, double backflip. Wow. Okay, I wasn't quite ready for that one. I need to back up a little bit. So he's just going all out. Liam says it's not going to survive. Oh my gosh. Boom, perfect. Run of it too much. This is crazy. Ah. Hey, there's our dog's ball. So shooting this clip in a different format for other platforms, and this just so happened to be the hit that did the body mounts in. So I never really thought he would break the body post, but apparently, oh, he broke like 3 of them. Dang. So we can maybe lower it a little bit. If we lower it, see there's more points to mount to. But we did break 3 body posts and the battery came loose.
I told you I was the Grim Reaper of trucks.
He's the Grim Reaper of RC. This also has this little tray here that we didn't really mention that will kind of cover your battery and protect it a little bit, especially when you're going through the water like we were. If you're getting any splashing up here on the battery, having this on here would definitely help cover that. We were just lazy and didn't put it on, but this would go underneath the straps here and kind of cover your battery, help protect it a little bit. You could probably even tuck your balance lead up inside of there as well. So just a nice little addition. So the body actually doesn't stick out near as far as I thought it would. It's really not bad at all. I mean, it is past the chassis a little bit, so that's something, if you're going to leave it like this permanently, you may want to cut that off. But I was still able to get the body on. You can see with the front being as low as possible, it kind of gives it a little bend there, but I didn't really have any choice if we wanted to continue running this for now. But we're up and running again, so let's try this again. So I went ahead and trimmed the body a little bit just so we're not running like crazy. I didn't go wild with it because actually we could do a little Velcro on the chassis right here and on the inside of the body to where that kind of Velcroed in. And if that was holding in there, we wouldn't end up with that catching all the time anyways. It's because it sticks out a little bit, it snags that front tire. But if that was held in, we wouldn't have to worry about it. So I got a hold of the controller and I just sent this thing over and over and over, and it's an absolute backflip machine. It's just so much fun to jump. It jumps really, really well. The brake is very responsive, so if you need to level it out, it does that really well. And the thing held up like none other. The body never once came off, which is a huge issue for a lot of other pinless bodies. But this one never came off once. I was very, very impressed with how well this thing held up, and it just took an absolute beating.
Man, this is what we do for y'all people.
We can do it. Ah! I gotta land it. No matter how much we love an RC, our dog always hates them. Oh, she's gonna get you now. Oh, she got it. So here Liam's playing around, trying to get the truck up on 2 wheels and just having some fun out in the grass. And he ended up really butchering the body doing this. Since we lowered the body down, the tires were rubbing like crazy, but you can tell the thing is super stable, and he had a lot of fun with it. That's all that really matters. Oh,
See how slim the tires got?
yeah. You may want to cut your body
Before trying to go on 2 wheels.
if you have a professional driver driving. We'll call that the Liam cut.
The low taper rim.
Dude, it actually really hasn't broke.
Yeah.
So I'm proud of it. So hey, real quick, what does the 50 and 75% throttle feel like if you on the backside? If you put it on 50%? So that's wide open. It doesn't really wheelie. It would be much more controllable and ooh, it's still got a lot of pep, 75%. It will wheelie at 75, won't it?
No.
Barely, maybe. May.
100.
Yeah, don't spray her. Don't spray her. And 100%. Okay. So for my final thoughts on any RC, guys, I try to put myself in your shoes. If I spent my money on this, would I be happy with it? And I can kind of relate to that with this because I was considering the buggy, and I still am. I'm going to explain why I'm kind of holding off. But I would 100% be thrilled with this truck if I paid for this with my own money. You know, I try to be upfront with that. If I buy something, I'll tell you. If I don't, I'll tell you. It doesn't matter to me. I want to put the truth out there. Anyways, so a couple things. I love this body mounting system for one main reason. This body never came off once. And we sent this off the roof. We sent it off that jump. I didn't even put half the clips in here. We beat this to death. That body never came off once. First thing I would do if I was you is lower these posts some. I probably wouldn't slam them all the way down like I kind of had to, but lower them some because they're way up here and that leverage against them is kind of what made it snap easily, I think. Besides that, this thing is flawless. We beat it up and it is still perfect condition. These are plastic body shocks with plastic caps, and there's not a leak anywhere on these shocks. I promise you, you won't find a drop of oil leaking out of these shocks, which is amazing because you take pretty much any basher and you beat it up, you're gonna get leaking from the shock. I feel like this thing has plenty power. On the 4S, it's a wheelie machine. It backflips instantly. You just flick that throttle, it's gonna flip. Most of the time we were pulling double flips, whatever. So the power is great. The kids love it. Liam just loves anything that wheelies, you know, and this is perfect. These tires grip really well. I actually really like these. They don't balloon like crazy. So just enough to get the flips, but they don't like balloon up so bad that they're gonna, you know, sling off the wheels. So it's just really well built and thought out, I think. Like I said, nothing broke on it. I didn't mention the front bumper kind of has like this shock thing built into it where it just flexes a little bit. So if you hit anything, or like we landed really hard on the nose one time, no issues with the bumpers breaking. The wheelie bar is really beefy. That's something that breaks on a lot of bashers. You guys probably know if you have bashers, they're always broke. My LMTs, the wheelie bars are always broke. So it held up great. I mean, I love this thing. I'm thrilled to have it actually because my father-in-law has a Max and he likes to bash out here on the dirt hills and stuff, and I've got something I can run with him now. I had a Max, it was broke all the time, okay? I know a lot of people that have them and they don't have much issue at all. Send them very hard and rarely break something, but mine was broke constantly, so I just got rid of it. This I feel like hopefully is gonna be great for me, so I have something that I can bash with him again now, you know? So I'm thrilled with it. I love it. The only holdup for me is parts availability. Now, Buddy RC has pretty much everything for this, but they didn't have the body post that I needed. They were sold out. A couple of the A-arms and some other parts I think are sold out on their site. So the first thing I do when I get a truck like this I don't know a lot about or maybe haven't heard about is I go look for parts because I don't want to tell you guys, oh, this thing's awesome, and then you're stuck without parts for 3 or 4 months, right? So when I went looking for the parts, there really was none in the US besides Buddy RC had said they were going to get them. Now they have them listed on their site and they have most everything, like I said, but a few things that I kind of needed. But they do have like the body and stuff because I considered getting a new body since we kind of like destroyed this one once I get some new posts. So they have a lot of stuff. If they continue to like restock the things that say sold out like fairly quick, then I'll be buying the buggy, you know, but I kind of want to watch how fast they get that stuff back in stock. If we have to order all of our parts from overseas, you guys know that can sometimes take a month, and like most of the time I don't want to be down that long. So we'll just have to see how that goes. And then the other thing you got to consider is like WovRacing. How long are they going to support this truck? Who knows, you know? So I really don't know as far as that goes, but I do know I love the truck, so I could highly recommend it as far as the truck goes. It's beefy, it held up perfect. I think it's just really well thought out, and it runs amazing. So you guys tell me what you think about it. For me, you know, at the 339 with the free 4S battery, it's an absolute steal. Without the battery, you're around that ARMA Big Rock price range, and I don't know, I don't own a Big Rock. I really thought about buying one when they first came out, and then I watched some videos and decided not to, but I've seen those things get beat up, so maybe you're in that consideration of that versus this. You can probably go to your local hobby shop and pick that up, so that's up to you. If you're like me, you don't have a shop around, I have to order everything, so it's really not that big a deal to order parts. I just would like to see Buddy RC or a few other people in the US get the parts so that we have them, boom, when we want them. You know, Buddy RC's in Ohio, so for me, I'd get that stuff in like 2 days probably, you know? So I really hope they get some of this other stuff back in stock soon. If they do, then I will be picking up the buggy. I mean, it held up. Like, what else can I say? It held up perfectly, so I've got to give it a good grade, guys. We submerged it, got it really, really wet twice. It just wouldn't power off by pressing the button on the ESC. You just disconnect the battery, plug it back in, it was fine. It would power on, it'd power off, ran fine, everything. So just maybe don't submerge it. Besides that, it's almost bulletproof in my opinion. So you guys let me know what you think about it. I appreciate you sticking around this long. Lots of stuff coming, so make sure you subscribe and click the bell. Give us a thumbs up. Liam and I are really trying to hit this hard. I'm trying to help him help me. So the more I can get him involved in building things and helping me with videos, the more stuff we can get out for you guys. So I really appreciate it, everybody. Peace.
Okay guys, we're here at Beat the Creek 2024, and we're trying to show off a little bit of our new truck. It's called the WovRacing, so we call it Wicked Off-Road Vehicle Racing. And it has a few unique things like the body mounting system. It's a little push button. It unlocks real easy. Then you have your nice brushless 4S setup in there. It is a composite material chassis, but that's what you need sometimes. You don't want to have an aluminum chassis. Sometimes they bend.
Aluminum bends, it don't come back.
Yep.
Plastic bends, it flexes, it gives, it goes right back where it was.
Yeah, it has two upper bulkheads where the shock towers are. That screws go all the way through the chassis. They're 40 millimeters long, and they're M4 screw in there, so they're really tough. And you have a center solid rod for the bracing. You can run up to 4S on it. Of course, you could run on 2S or 3S if you want to slow it down for kids or things like that. It has a standard 17 millimeter hex. Very strong A-arms, big bore shocks that are adjustable with a collet. And soon there will be a lot of upgrade parts too. You know, you got your flex where you want it and your bumpers. Got a little pivot point in the front. Yeah, you got a little pivot point, so when you hit it hard, you ain't gonna break things. That's what you don't want to do. And then we went a little different with the hex system, mounting system, to the axle shaft. It's actually a splined shaft with a splined 17 millimeter hex. But it does use regular 17 millimeter nuts on the outside.
So you can still use any 17 millimeter
Any
wheel?
17 millimeter wheel and tire, a buggy, monster truck, anything will fit on there. Some, obviously, you have to look at the offset and figure out to make sure you get the right offset so you don't have a lot of body rubbing depending on the diameter of the tire.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And you got a buggy version too.
Yeah, we got a buggy version, and it runs pretty nice, pretty flat on the ground at high speed. This one is just a power monster, just pops wheelies wherever you want. They're sealed differentials, all three, the center, the rear, and the front are all sealed. They have gaskets in them. You could put a thicker grease in it so you can get that tires planted however you want them. So yeah, I mean, you guys can visit only buddyrc.com right now. And obviously, you can always click down in the description too.